I'm a nerd.
I'm friendly. Impressive.
Older sibling. A daughter.
I am crazy.
I am confident.
I am silly.
I am lovable.
I'm a poet. I'm a Chinese.
I'm a philosopher.
I'm Nigerian. I'm optimistic.
I'm bubbly.
I'm independent.
I'm an environmentalist.
I'm queer.
I'm different.
I am disabled.
I'm an artist. I'm unique.
I found trouble just identifying with one word. Like, I wish I could have had such a larger label. There's more words that I identify with.
Aiden is transgender. What are some positive things that we know about Aiden?
In many cultures, such as like First Nation cultures, you're like considered very spiritual.
You are
or like
very
like a,
spiritual.
kind of like almost more than human.
You're unique.
Last two right here.
You know yourself.
You know yourself.
You're confident in who you want to be.
Now let's tell Aiden some of the negative things that we know or have heard about him.
You're not a real man.
You are a prostitute. You are going to hell.
I don't want you around my kids.
Brian, can you tell me how you identify?
I'm an Arab.
Brian, you're an Arab. So guys, what do you know about Brian?
Your culture makes delicious food. Brian, you have a hard work ethic by working many hours a day.
We missed you, sorry.
You got good hair.
You have a strong religious background.
Strong religious background. Last one.
You are family oriented.
Brian, I think we've heard some negative things about you too. What else have we heard about Brian? Yes, ma'am.
You're an illegal immigrant.
You hate America.
You smell.
You got a bomb.
You don't get along with others.
Doesn't get along with others.
You don't respect the women of your culture.
You don't respect women.
You hate Jews.
You hate Jews.
You can't speak English.
You can't speak English.
You forgot your scarf on the head.
You beat your wife.
You're a religious extremist.
I am a rapper.
You're a rapper. That's really cool.
You are a lyricist.
You're an artist.
You are intelligent.
You got rhythm. People wish they could be you.
You only rap about money and cars.
You're in a gang. You're in a gang.
You're a poser.
Poser.
You're responsible for violence.
You're limiting your influential power by the way you portray yourself on TV.
You're socially irresponsible.
Or you degrade women.
You're gonna get shot. You're money hungry.
Or you have too many scandals.
I'm black.
You're black.
Right here, you can dance really well.
Right here, you can sing.
You're really good at sports.
Everybody wants to be you.
You can slam dunk.
You can slam dunk, Raheem. Yeah.
Right here, you have a rich history.
You understand struggle.
So what are some negative things we heard about Raheem? Please say, Raheem, you are.
Raheem, you're probably not going to graduate high school.
Oh.
You're a thief.
Right here, you are easily influenced by your peers.
Right here, you would do anything for a piece of chicken.
You're too loud.
You are too loud, Raheem.
You are scary.
Alicia, can you tell us how you identify?
I am a queer.
What are some wonderful things that we've heard about Alicia?
Alicia's confident.
You're always happy and outgoing.
You are happy and outgoing.
You have other people that can relate to you that you can go to talk to and stuff. You think.
You have a strong community.
Alicia, you are unique.
Alicia, you are aware of many identities that exist within the LGBT community.
Alicia, we've also heard some negative things about you.
Alicia, you're not my child anymore.
Alicia, you're nasty.
Alicia, you were sexually abused as a child.
Alicia, you're doing the devil's work.
Alyssa, you are in trouble.
Last one.
You're just going through a phase.
I think at times I like to identify as one thing, whatever the majority is. So, for example, if it's a bunch of, let's say, black people in one area, I would say, you know what, I'm black because the majority around me is that one stereotype or one identity. So I think it depends on where I'm at.
Society always deems us to be something that we're not, and sometimes like the stereotypes, they get so overwhelming that you just kind of play along with it. But it's like up to the individual to, you know, stand up for themselves and say, look, this is who I am. But it takes the individual to do that.
I think that we should all have open minds to people because you can
can't really judge a book by its cover, and no one is one thing. Like, we are all different in our own way, and we can be different things. So I think taking from this, we should all not just look at somebody and say, oh, she's black and she's ghetto, or oh, before she turn around, like, oh, she got a big booty. Like, we should just be open and get to know people before we judge.
You asked like why we have these stereotypes. I think like it's not even necessarily like from a negative place. Like I think sometimes we just like are intrigued by other people and like we want to like learn. Oh, like this culture is different from mine. What is it like? But unfortunately, like, we absorb all these things that aren't true across the board. So it's like, oh, like that person is Arab and this is my interaction with Arab people, or this is what I see on the TV. This is like what my perception of them. Instead of like starting with a blank slate and like meeting someone like, oh, like I know nothing about you or your culture. Tell me about it like yourself. Like I feel like we're getting it from like third parties.
I think it was a very good program. It helps you interact with people of different cultures and get to know other type of people. And it also helped me realize that stereotyping isn't like a good thing you should do, and you should always get to know people and introduce yourself to people and go to people with an open mind and an open slate.
I thought it was really good. I didn't know what to expect though coming in. I knew there would be something about identity obviously from the posters, but I thought it was really good. I liked how we got in a circle and went around and said something we would identify ourselves as. And I like to talk about stereotypes and how, since I'm part of the LGBT community, I like how we talked about that and Spencer came and talked about it, so I thought it was really good.
I really liked the program. I learned a lot of things just about identity and identifying yourself and who you are as a person.
My favorite part was the identities that we stepped out and said, and had what everyone told the good and the bad about each identity.
Yeah, that was my favorite part because it made me think about how I saw somebody else, because usually I see the negative sometimes maybe, but it made me think broader than, like, I was a rapper, so I didn't really think about the positives. I used to think about the negatives of the rappers because it has changed over the years, so when I heard the positives, it made me feel better about rappers and whatnot.
So I think this program very cool. I learned many about how to be a perfect man and how to make friends or many things. I think very useful to me. Yeah.
Well, I think this program was well needed, particularly because freshmen come in here and they are overwhelmed with all the different types of identities that they can identify themselves with. Oftentimes we are socialized to think this is this and this is that, but really for students to come to college and have that experience and know that, hey, I can identify myself as whatever I want. If I want to identify myself as just by my name, I can, so I think that getting people to think in that kind of manner actually is really essential for development. So
Going off of that, I think that a lot of times people could even make it to their senior year and not necessarily feel like they can identify different than other people put on them. So Mario, you're black, and that's all you are. Maybe Mario has something else, and I think this program helps people see that it is okay to identify different ways. But beyond that, there's different ways that people identify, and the fact that you may look at somebody else, maybe you look at Mario and you say he's just black. That's not all there is to it, and
I'm also an artist. I'm also an educator. So it's very. Thank you. I'm Super Mario as well. That's the identity marker that I think I am.
And you're dope. And you're dope.
You are too.
Thank you.
Emerald East in Hubbard, room 132. Mondays at 8:30 p.m. Be there or be square.